Aoi is a native Japanese word. When it comes to color, it can mean either blue or green, like aoshingo, blue traffic lights. Yes, you heard me right. It's blue in Japan. Well, it's bluish green. Aozora, blue sky. Aoyama, green mountain. Aoringo, green apple, and so on. All these words share a common stem, ao, or sei if you prefer its kanji pronunciation. Now, this same kanji is read as qing in Chinese. No surprise, kanji are Chinese characters used in the Japanese language, and as in many regional languages influenced by ancient Chinese culture, blue and green are traditionally expressed as shades of qing. These colors are not precisely defined, nor are they as exact as the palette of colors on our computer screen. For a color such as this Chinese character qing that extends to include both shades of green and shades of blue, linguists love to use the concept of gru. In this case, gru simply means a blend of green and blue. While gru has other meanings and uses, this is the only one we're going to talk about. So qing is a gru, but it's more than green and blue. It has multiple meanings beyond gru. This polysemous nature is what makes qing such an interesting subject to talk about. But first, let's talk about the origins of qing. The character qing first appeared among Chinese bronze characters of the early Western Zhou dynasty more than 3,000 years ago. The character representing qing is a compound ideograph that looks like this. It is a combination of sheng at the top and jing at the bottom. Jing most likely represents a mining well, and the ideograph sheng represents harvesting grass that grows on the ground. Put together, it likely refers to ores from the mine that are as green as grass, like copper ores, especially aggregates of azurite and malachite. These were the copper ores of choice at that time to be used in combination with tin to produce bronze alloys. Azurite is a soft, deep blue material that is usually found along with malachite, an opaque, green-banded mineral. Azurite is rarer and very unstable in open air compared to malachite. Through the weathering process, when exposed to wet environments, azurite can gradually convert to malachite. Coarsely ground azurite produces a deep blue color, but it turns pale green when it is finely ground. The difficulty of achieving a proper blue pigment may be why archaeologists have so far been unable to find any blue pigment after analyzing many bronze color container artifacts from the early Western Zhou era. All these facts have led many to believe that qing originally expressed a green color. But few characters passed through the millennia untouched. And somehow through the years, qing has evolved into a polysemous word that decorates many beautiful poems, phrases, and words. Take this poem by the genius poet Li Bai of the Tang Dynasty. 今不见黄河之水天上来，奔流到海不复回。今不见高堂明镜悲白发，照如青丝暮成雪。 Translated freely, it says, "Have you not seen, in the bright mirror of the great hall, they grieve over white hair. At dawn it was like black silk, by evening it has turned into snow." This is the genius of Li Bai in full display. Let me explain. Li Bai and his younger contemporary and friend, Du Fu, have been known to use the metaphor qing sui to describe young age. Likely because the green of qing is associated with youth and growth. And the phrase qingyi was a common term in his time to describe the robes made with coarse dark blue fabric worn by servants. So by combining these two shades of qing, he eloquently coined the phrase qingsi, which literally means green silk. But here, Li Bai used it metaphorically to describe the black hair of someone young, which he implied by the word 照, and contrasting it to the snow-colored hair of someone old, implied by the word 暮. This Qingsi binomial has been regularly quoted as an example of when the meaning of Qing extends into black. For another interesting example, take this famous saying by Xun Kuang, or better known as Xunzi, a Chinese philosopher who lived during the Warring States period.
青举之以蓝，而青以蓝。
This is the kind of phrase that gets lost in translation. Google Translator literally gives us, doesn't make much sense, right? The saying is actually a metaphor for one can improve through learning, or in its more common interpretation, the student surpasses the master. But what it literally says is the color qing emerges out of blue, and it wins over blue. This obviously begs the question of what color does this qing actually refer to? To explain, in the first half of this phrase,
青举之以蓝
qing refers to the color of the dye that is extracted from the Chinese indigo plant, or lan chao, literally blue grass. This qing pigment emerges out of the fermented leaves of the blue grass, and it has a deep blue color which is considered to be stronger in comparison to the originally green leaves of the plant, and hence explains the phrase
而青以蓝
which one can freely translate to it wins over blue. So the polysemous qing in this context means blue. Beyond color, qing can also have many other meanings. Here are some more examples. As an adjective, qing is a metaphor for youth. Besides qing sui, which we have mentioned before, there's qing which means beautiful young girl. Then to describe youth, we say qing chun. When used as a noun, qing can be another name for the east, like in qing gong, the East Palace, the green mineral pigment used in traditional Chinese paintings, danqing. It is also a noun for the season of spring, like in qingfeng, winds of spring. There's also kanqing, which means to watch over unripe crops. Qing can also be used as another word for bamboo materials, such as in qingshi, history written on the bamboo slips. And of course, ta qing, which means stepping on the green grass. In modern standard Mandarin, qing is a color term defined as cyan in English. Several colors formerly considered as shades of qing have been given their own names, like green, which is now lü, blue is now lan, and black is now hei. Qing has been delegated to mostly compound words, or used as the English green in the sense of youth. But the word itself is by no means close to fading away. It's still there in the mix of everyday Chinese conversation, but not as encompassing as it used to be. As for how to interpret qing when we come across it in a Chinese sentence, we have to rely on the historical context of the time when it was applied, or just take it as it is, because the convention has been established and set through the long history of Chinese civilization. For those who grew up immersed in the language, the contextual understanding of the term is a given without really having to delve into the exact meaning of the term. Like, qinghua means a frog. It doesn't have to be a green one, but it can be green. Since I'm learning Chinese, I asked my dad once why a brown frog is still called a qinghua, which literally means a green frog. He replied that a green cucumber is called a huanggua. Huang means yellow, so basically yellow cucumber. I left feeling that language can be such a tricky thing. We refer to things with terms that don't necessarily correlate perfectly with it, but somehow everyone has agreed to call it in such a way. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and bye!